What's good, YouTube? DM Gaming here, guys. Man, y'all, I've been holding out on giving my review of college football 26 because I want to experience it from different angles. I wanted to experience it from the offline, well, not offline, off stream aspect, some road to glory aspects, and really just kind of let that newness wear off and see where I stood. You know what I'm saying? So that's the approach that I'm taking today. Guys, if you are new to the channel, please do your boy a solid and subscribe to the channel, man. Hit the like button. All of that is completely free. Don't cost you anything at all, man. Anything at all, bub. And then I don't have to tell people about the weird thing you did in the bathroom when you were in middle school, bub. All right. So, college football 26. Hate it, like it, love it, despise it. I love it. I love it. Now, here's why I love it. I love this game because, number one, anybody that's playing this can tell you this is not a repeat. This is not a 2025 with new rosters. Does that make sense? Guys, this game is completely different than last year. I remember telling y'all there was more control in this game. This game will put the control in your hands. Now, one thing that I'm seeing on social media, I'm seeing a few things on social media. Number one is I'm seeing people complain about things that they have control over. Guys, I'm telling you, if interceptions, for example, people are missing wide open interceptions and they feel like they should be catching them because the game said that you should be, pretty much guaranteed an interception if you're wide open and you're facing the football. Now, I have seen my linebackers get more interceptions than my secondary guys. Guys, the majority of the times your secondary player isn't even facing the ball. But I have had times where I would strafe, face the ball with my DB, push triangle to go and get the ball, and sometimes they don't even jump. Now, there's a solution to this fix. Okay? It's as simple. It is as simple, guys. Until they patch these things to go into your sliders. Turn up the interception ratio. You know what I'm saying? I would do it by 5 at a time, or something like that. Me personally, I haven't messed with my sliders. I still play on the 50s, on the default sliders. I haven't seen a need to increase those sliders. Run blocking in this game, phenomenal. The receivers even fight to get blocks. Okay? The receivers fight to get blocks. The linemen, they will block. Y'all remember when Ryan Moody showed us in the trailer where the lineman just stopped in the hole and the guy ran into the back of him? That I haven't seen it happen yet. Matter of fact, if you watch my live streams, you will see how the linemen, they will go get past the first level. They will actively be looking. I have literally stopped and replayed this. Not in this instance right here, but those linemen will stop and actively look for somebody to block on the second level. And if there's not, guess where they go? To the third level. Okay? A key part of it is if you are hitting the sprint button as soon as you touch the ball, you're doing yourself a disservice. The defensive lineman, the defense period is going to adjust to you speeding up behind the line of scrimmage. Okay? And in real life, backs don't do that. They don't get the ball and just go full tilt. Backs turn it on once the hole is signified. Once they have the hole, they know this is the hole, it's open, bam, that's when they go. Okay? But if you're getting on the sprint button behind the line of scrimmage, that's a big reason why your run blocking probably sucks. And you're not following behind your right blocks. You don't understand the concept of the play that you're running to understand where the holes should be. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different factors. If you want to talk about that, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up in the Discord, hit me up on this video, and I'll do a video breaking that down and talking about it. Okay? Which leads me to my next point. People are having issues with is people like the way that this game is set up. We ask for simulation football. We complain about not having it, and then they give it to us. Now, is it 100% copy and paste simulation? No, it's not. This is a video game at the end of the day, guys. You can't make a game without animations. I'll put it like that, because people will complain, ooh, the animations. It's a game. Everything in the game is an animation. How do you think they make the game? Be that as it may, the animation that I don't like is when my receiver jumps up to catch the ball and he gets hit in the back by the defensive back, and they do the whole backwards folding animation where their hands jerk behind them and they lose the ball. But it happens. But I don't like it. It seems like it plays out a little bit too much for me. So, hey, how can I adjust that? I can go to my sliders and turn up wide receiver catching. That way, they don't drop as many balls like that. That animation doesn't play out as often. You know what I'm saying? But I don't do that because it doesn't happen enough to where it's game breaking. But it does happen at times. Okay? But for the people who are complaining about, I've seen several videos on Twitter where people are complaining about certain things, and it's like y'all are complaining about something that was in your control. This person, the offense was in they were in an empty set, meaning there's 5 wide receivers. These guys was in like a 4-3 defense. Okay? You do not want to be in a 4-3. You should always have as many defenders in the secondary as they have receivers. So if they got 5 receivers, they're in an empty set, and you only got 4 receivers, 4 down linemen, and 3 linebackers in a 4-3 defense, do not expect to stop that offense. Okay? So that leads me to this major point that it kind of backtracking because I kind of went off task a little bit. But guys, this is a simulation football game. And the way that this game is set up is made to where, and Scott told us this, that you're going to be rewarded for making football plays. Your knowledge of the game of football, he said it in the deep dive. They said it in the trailer. Get into the film room. Study film. Remember, I was like, oh man, are they alluding to us being able to game plan? But then I realized it's like, no, what they're telling you is, and I even commented this on Twitter and Scott replied to it. He liked it. So that let me know I'm on the right track. Where, guys, you got to know some football. Okay? There's people such as myself, Kurt, the old ex QB from the former QB from Green Bay Packers. He does a lot of stuff. I do a lot of things. There's people out there who will tell you these things, who will help you with these things. There's been people that have listened to my channel on things. And do I know it all? No, I don't. I never claim to know it all, but I know what I know. You know what I'm saying? Listen to those things. Learn those things. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out and ask. You can ask me on Discord. You can ask me on Twitter. You can ask me here in the comment section. Anything football related. And if I can help you, I'll be more than happy to help you with that. Because, guys, if you want to get better at this game, you're going to have to understand football. You're going to have to understand, if I'm trying to run the football, are they loading the box? You know, come and watch my live streams. I literally will play the game. And as I'm playing the game, I will break down concepts. Because one thing I remember somebody said in one of my live streams here, and the game that you're watching is Duke. This is actually from my dynasty with Colorado, which that's changed since then, but it's on Heisman level. I run the veer and shoot. Somebody said the veer and shoot was a cheese offense. Guys, I lost 2 games with the veer and shoot. I didn't dominate those games. And there are some games where I do dominate. Some of these teams adjust really, really well to what you do defensively and offensively. Cincinnati was one of those teams. I lost to them. I could not get anything going. You know what I'm saying? Houston was another one, you know. But this Duke game right here that you're watching, this game right here is probably my all-time favorite game. It came down to the very last play. And I implore you to go into the stream, watch it. It starts at the 3-hour mark of the stream. Amazing game. This game showcased so much. So even right here, you know, you looking at how many guys are in the box? Okay, do I want to run it? Do I want to pass it? Getting different looks from the secondary and things like that. And I've gotten to the point now where I can read all of that very quickly. You know what I'm saying? If I call, me personally, I like to run a lot of inside zone. I don't care what team you are, you have bread and butter. Does that make sense? Because some people would even say, well, DM, you only run certain plays. Why do you always run out of stack formation? Why do you always run out of bunch? And like I told them, those are my bread and butter formations, stack and bunch. Now, don't get it twisted. DM will run out of 5 wide. DM will run out of 4 wide. DM will run trips. I'll run those different formations, but I have my bread and butter formations. I don't care who you are, where you coach at, you're going to have what they call bread and butter. All right. So yeah, I run out of stack. I run out of bunch. And then also, guys, the whole thing is I didn't play 25 near as much because coaching and stuff, I just didn't have the time. I played it a lot, though. I put in like 500 hours. But I'm going to be able to play 26 a lot more. Now, people often ask, too, why do I run the veer and shoot? Why don't I switch to a different a playbook? And the answer to that is simple. Like I told them, in real life, if you're an offensive coordinator, you're not going to be changing playbooks a lot. If you want to be great at what you do, you get your playbook and you stick to it. Steve Sarkisian doesn't switch around his playbook every time he changes a dynasty or changes a team or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, I've learned and I'm still learning the playbook. For example, the first formation that I mastered was the stack. The second one was the bunch formation. So I go to those. Those are my go-tos. Now, guys, in 26, I'm really starting to get into 5 wide. Okay? And from there, it'll go to different things. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's how you do it. You know, you're building a body of work within the system that you have, you know? And I love it. I love the growth. I'm seeing the growth. I'm seeing things and I'm like, oh, wow, that works. Okay, I can do this and this. I can do this in this formation, this and this set. You know what I'm saying? That comes from learning the game of football. What is the defense giving you? My biggest advice to you, if you're struggling on offense, is what is the defense giving you? Okay? Take what the defense gives you. My second one is this. Notice on the screen right now, you can see Duke has 1 running back, 0 tight ends, 4 wide receivers. Guys, you need to be picking your defensive formations based off of that information that's given. That information has been in every football game since PlayStation 2 days. Okay? My brothers taught me that. My brother and cousin, they taught me that when I was young. When I was like teenage, 11, 10. I was like, man, how do you do this and this? He's like, look at that. If it tells you this, then you know you need to put this on the field. That helps in defense. If they don't have any tight ends, that means they're going to have a 5-man front. So you can run a 3-down line set. You can run a 4-down line set. But you better make sure you have at least 4 guys in the box, or 5. It needs to be body on the body. Otherwise, if they're trying to run the ball, they're going to be in an advantage. They got 4 wide receivers. You got 4 DBs, so you can really mix it up. Now, if it says 0 running backs, if they're in an empty set, you know what? You better not have 7 or 8 guys in that box. You're going to be in trouble. You get what I'm saying? Take what the defense gives you. They got a tight end. They got 3 wide receivers. You see the formation they come out in. Tight end, 3 wide receivers. They're going to have that 6 guys blocking, being able to block. They're looking to run the ball, pass the ball, whatever. You still better be ready. Pick your defenses accordingly. And I'll have to do a separate video on that to go in more detail. My whole point is this game is setting you up to play real football as close as we can. Utilize your stunts. Utilize your twists. They gave us so many. Defense this year, oh my God. Y'all, I ain't gonna lie. 25, I would just play offense. I can count on one hand how many games I've played offense and defense. I've never been a defensive coordinator in 25 because I hated playing defense at 25. You didn't have enough tools. That was my thing. 26 is different. Stunts and twists alone has drastically opened up what you're able to do on the football field in college football 26. Stunts and twists alone. Okay, not to mention the pass commit plays, like the being able to adjust your coverages and all of that kind of stuff, and then the tackling. The tackling as well. Right here, I was showing the instant replay because I was like, man, how he break that tackle? But I had him wrapped up, and my guys and the other Duke player knocked me off. That's physics. Like, this game is so much fun. I'm gonna do another dynasty. I'm gonna be a defensive coordinator, and I'm gonna work my way up. And two, that gets me out of my comfort zone a little bit. It's crazy because I've played defense in college and stuff. I know it, but I really like playing offense. Offense is so much fun. But, defense in this game, it's fun this year because you can play it realistically. Wear and tear, I rave about wear and tear because that is the gear that gets everything going. You know what I'm saying? I dealt with in this season having a running back who was a junior who he did fully deplete his wear and tear for his career. So next season, he's not as fresh. I had to get a different back to help out. You know what I'm saying? This game is awesome, man. This game is a love letter to football fans. And like I said, the playing online is being realistic. Playing online is a lot different than playing against computer. When you get into the online space, you do see a lot of what they call meta. You see a lot of teams playing or people using things that they know work in the game. Does that make sense? Like cheese plays in a sense, not necessarily cheese, but just kind of taking advantage of the structure of the game as opposed to applying real football principles and concepts, if that makes sense. Now, that doesn't mean it's like that all the time, but a lot of times it is. And that's why me personally, I don't tend to play online. I tend to play against the computer. You're going to get challenging games. Okay. This game here, I think going into halftime, we were down 27-7. And I'll spoiler alert, we ended up winning this game. But it was awesome. You have those games where you blow a team out. You have those games where they play you extreme. They match up to you so well defensively that you really got to dig into your bag and open up your offense. You have those nail biters. And that's the thing that some people don't realize as well. Like, scheme matters. Your scheme definitely matters. Those games that are tough, they're matching up against you well. That's because their defense and what they run is they're adjusting well to what you do, and they're set up. Like, I like a lot of inside zone out of stack. I like a lot of inside zone, period. And so teams that run a 4-down lineman set, or depending on their alignment, if they got those defensive tackles in the A gaps, I'm probably gonna have trouble. You know what I'm saying? Trying to run inside zone because it tends to hit A gap, sometimes B gap. You know what I'm saying? And it changes what your offensive lineman does as far as double teams and things of that nature. Like, there's so many different nuances that goes into this. But for my people that are having trouble with this game, like I told you, Kurt does amazing content, teaching you the X's and the O's. Apply that. I personally feel I do a really good job of it. I keep it simple. I try to keep it as simple as possible, dumbing it down in a sense, to where everybody can understand it. Pay attention to those things. You know what I'm saying? Ask those questions. Get to know real football. And guys, it's going to open up the game for you. It's going to make this game funner. It's going to make watching football funner because you're starting to understand what's going on and what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Your down and distance matters. Pay attention to what the offense is doing. You know what I'm saying? I noticed, like, in this Duke game, they were passing the ball in the middle of the field a lot early on. And so what did I do? I started shading inside and pass committing to the inside. When I started doing that, they weren't passing the ball as much to the inside. Why? Because it was shut down. And what would happen, guys, is I started getting more sacks. Why did I start getting more sacks? I started getting more sacks because where the quarterback was looking to throw the ball, it was not there. And with my stunts and twists up front, that allowed my defense time to get to the quarterback. Also, I like a certain stunt and twist. Okay. But that twist takes my tackle and he goes to the outside of my defensive end. My defensive end crashes down. And so it leaves the A gap exposed. And Duke was running through the A gap. And I was like, dang, why do they keep getting runs up the middle like that? I noticed it was because of the stunt and twist that I was running. Okay, so what did I do? I adjusted. What did it do? Started forcing them to run to the outside. You know what I'm saying? And this game is on Heisman, by the way. Heisman with default settings. You know? So, you know, I have some issues with the game. Like I told you, with the catching. Hitting them in the back and they throw their hands back and they miss it. You know what I'm saying? But overall, like, people ask me, have you did anything with sliders? Absolutely. No, not yet. Not yet. I haven't had a need to. You know what I'm saying? Because also in the tactician skill tree, there's a thing where you can increase your catches with your wide receivers. Right here, I'm showing instant replay. They were in a 4-man front. Look at that gap. Look at that. My center was able to go to the next level, block the linebacker, patience by the running back. This move was crazy right here. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of showcasing. And this is the content that you get if you watch my live streams, y'all. I'm going to live stream today, okay? And the title of it is In the Lab, because that's what we're doing. We're studying the game. We're learning the game. Your personnel matters. Your scheme matters according to your personnel. You know, people say, what's the best offense? I had people ask me that. What's the best offense to run in the game? What's the best defense to run in the game? There isn't one. There isn't one. They all have their advantages. They all have their disadvantages. But your scheme, I always ask them the question, what are you trying to run? Okay? If you're running veer and shoot, okay, you need a certain personnel to be really successful in the veer and shoot. Most of the times in my veer and shoot in 25, I always make sure I had GoDaddies on the outside. This year is different because I had a guy with like 98 speed, 99 acceleration, but he wasn't getting open because his route running sucked. And I love that because in 25, if they was fast, you can make things happen. Not in 26. And so I didn't have those GoDaddies on the outside, but my run game was amazing. So I leaned on that. And then later on, I did get some GoDaddies at receiver. And it opened up my pass game. You know what I'm saying? So you have to take your personnel. You have to take your scheme. Understand the scheme. What are you trying to do? Are you a team that wants to run the ball a lot? Okay. And then what type of runs do you want to do? A counter is different than a sweep, is different than an inside zone, outside zone, off tackle, etc., etc. They're all different run plays. They all aim to accomplish different things and take advantage of different things that the defense is doing. Okay. If the defense is stacking the box, loading the A-gaps, trying to stop inside zone, then your counter plays, your sweeps, your outside zones, those plays are good for you. You know what I'm saying? This was me going to the pause menu because I could not understand how these boys was going off like this. But I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, it makes sense. Them boys got some dogs. But I'll say this, wear and tear in this game drove him down. Number one, you'll see in the second half, he doesn't even play that much. Because every time I got a chance to hit stick him, I hit stuck him. And on the default settings, look at that. I went after his legs all game long. And by the third, fourth quarter, he wasn't in the game. And I told them in the chat, because I remember I used to do this in older games before wear and tear was even a thing, just to kind of simulate. Hey, you know, hit him in the legs, tear up his legs, tear up his legs. As a running back, you attack the legs. You attack their legs, and guess what it's going to do? They are not going to be going the same way by the time the third, fourth quarter rolls around. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. Like, this game mocks real life so well. Is it spot on perfect? No, it's not. But it is one of those games where you can apply a ton of real life elements and be just fine in what you do with this game. I love it. It's addicting. I play it all day. 8, sometimes 9 hours a day. Like, and people, how do you do that and still got a job? Like, if you know my job, you know how I'm able to do that. You know, and I understand everybody's not able to. And that's fine. And that's why I give those tips and those hints in reading offenses, reading defenses, you know, doing those things that's going to give you that to be able to work and make stuff happen, you know, that I've learned from playing the game as much as I have, you know, and like I said, I don't know it all. There's people that definitely know more than I do, but see right there, that particular stunt and twist left that B gap open. If they was to run there, I would have been done. You know what I'm saying? And then too, even defensively, like I run 3-3-5 type, but you see me out of the nickel so much. And you'll see me out of one formation, but I adjust. We don't have the guys to play, man. So I played a ton of zone with Colorado. It worked. It worked. You know what I'm saying? But I would check. I would make audibles at the line of scrimmage. The best thing I can tell you is learn your stunts. Your stunts are the same for every single team as far as like the ones that you can do. Only thing that changes is based off of your front. If you got a 3-man, if you got 3 down linemen, you're going to only have certain ones available to you as opposed to 4. But they're all the same, and they're in the same spot even when you check to them in game. So once you memorize where they're at, you can adjust pretty fast. I didn't really face an up-tempo team playing in my dynasty, but I did have an instance where I had like 1 or 2 games where I did, and it wasn't a problem. Here's the deal to stop those types of teams. If you can get a tackle for a loss or an incompletion, then it knocks out their up-tempo. You know what I'm saying? Football concepts. If I got a fast-paced offense, how do you do that? You get them tackles for losses and stuff. Because as long as what they're doing is getting positive yards, they're going to keep the pedal to the metal. You know what I'm saying? And so adjust. Be able to adjust and adapt. That's why I tend to pick a base defense and I adjust my defense from there. Because once I do that, you know, kind of just like I do on offense, I'll pick a base play, sometimes inside zone. And from there, I'll make checks and audibles to sort of change what I'm doing. You know? This game has been so much fun. I wasn't this much into 25. I'll put it like that. And that says a lot because we were all stoked for 25 and we played it so much. But 26 has been on another level than 25. And I love it. And the game is only going to get better. They're going to do, you know, like I said, there's issues. Yeah. Those things they already aware of a lot of these things. They're going to patch these things. They're going to fix those things. Until they do, guys, adjust the game. If you're not getting enough interceptions, just increase it. You know what I'm saying? Also understand, too, your ratings matter. Like, if you got a DB with bad catching and he dropping wide open picks, I mean, it's a reason he's playing corner instead of wide receiver. But I digress. If offensive line is not blocking the way that they should, just increase the sliders a little bit. You have that control until they're able to patch certain things in the game. But like I said, I've played on All-American. I've played on Heisman. And one thing that I like about Heisman this year is they don't just give the computer stuff because it's computer. The only thing that I don't like about Heisman is when you get into that tackle battle, they're going to win it 9 times out of 10. Because if you're not ready to press that X button, when you do press it, you've already lost. That's the only thing I don't like. Other than that, Heisman is one of those modes to where if you play football, you can win. If you don't, then you're going to lose. It's not like it was last year where they would literally give the offensive, like computer. It's almost like they dumbed your players down, made your players dumb and stupid just to make the computer better. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like that. But on 26, playing on Heisman, it's a challenge because you know, number one, you got to be on your P's and Q's. You got to earn it, but you can earn it. It's not like they just give computer plays just for the sake of making the game hard like they did in 25 or like I felt like they did in 25. 26 is not that way. And I love that. Because I even switched to Texas Tech because, long story short, y'all, I ended up getting fired from Colorado. 3 national championships, but I had 2 seasons back-to-back where I didn't make the playoffs. Because I was on a 3-year contract. After my 3rd year, I signed a new contract. I didn't read what that contract entailed. I was just like, hey, let's go play football. The contract was that I make playoffs every year. And so I had 2 seasons back-to-back where I didn't make playoffs. We made bowl games and we won those bowl games. But because I didn't make playoffs, they fired me. Signed with Texas Tech. First game of the year, number 14th ranked Ole Miss. Guess who we played after that? Number 1 ranked Clemson. And Ole Miss took us behind the woodshed. But we played Clemson down to the 4th quarter. You know what I'm saying? Both of them great teams, and both of them was like 90s on their offenses and defenses. One game we got destroyed against the number 1 ranked team in the nation. You take them to the 4th quarter. You know what I'm saying? It was because you had different schemes and stuff like that. Teams run different things. Like, it's just, this game is amazing. So far, I've been loving it. I haven't grown bored of it. I haven't even talked about Road to Glory, but I even like Road to Glory. I do like the moments. I was a guy that didn't really care for the full games because I was ready to get into the action of the recruiting and stuff. Now, I will say this. I still, for those people that want the full games, I want that in there. But I do like the moments. People complain that the moments are hard. They're supposed to be hard, especially if you plan on Heisman. People, oh, that's dang near impossible. It's supposed to be. If you're trying to be a 5-star, they're letting you know how hard it is to be a 5-star athlete. They're simulating that difficulty. If you want it easy, turn it down to freshman, get through it easy. There you go. But it's a challenge. And it's a fun challenge. The whole recruiting process is amazing. It's fun. And I was like, okay, the college part's going to be a little bit boring. No, the college part is fun. Now, one thing is I don't play defense. I'm going to do a separate video talking about Road to Glory because there are some big issues on the defensive side in that you have a ton of people who are getting benched because their teammates are messing up. And that's not accurate to how defense works in football. And I've talked about that. I've tweeted that out to Scott. I think he actually liked that tweet where I was telling him, you know, these cornerbacks, for example, the cornerback on the other side of the field we're in man-to-man, and they throw a touchdown to the other corner on the other corner side. That's not my responsibility. I get a plus for having good man coverage, but then I get a negative 50 because defense gave up a touchdown. It's like, that's not my fault. If you're going to do that, you need to allow us to control the entire defense. You know what I'm saying? I know we get to pick the play for the defense, but yet and still we don't control everything everybody does. 3rd down and 1, I'm playing corner. Okay. 3rd down and 1, I'm either going to be in man or a zone. They run a dive through the A gap. Okay. And they get the 1st down. And guess what? I get a negative mark for that. That makes absolutely no sense. And the issue is because of Coach Happiness. And it wasn't an issue last year because Coach Happiness didn't matter. It didn't exist. You wasn't getting benched. But because of Coach Happiness being in the game now, defense is almost unplayable in Road to Glory because your team is making those mistakes. Now, if your team isn't making those mistakes, then you can counteract it. And if you're making enough good plays, you can too. But there's been instances where guys have had like 3 picks in a game, 2 sacks and stuff, and still getting benched later because their defense overall is playing terrible. So that's something that does need to be addressed. But on the offensive side, it's a blast. I've played running back. I've played quarterback. And the camera angle, amazing. I love it. It makes it so much funner to play it. Right here, I'm just looking at this play right here. This quarterback, man. You know what I'm saying? The linebacker's doing what he's supposed to do. He's covering their running back, but once that quarterback crosses the line of scrimmage, and people say, oh, he should have attacked the quarterback. Guys, there's instances where I have manually attacked the quarterback and he's dumped the football. If you're playing against a good quarterback, they will do that. But the quarterbacks make so many good decisions now. You could tell the difference when you're playing against a good quarterback and a bad one. I'll put it like that. Because when their backup came in the game, they didn't do anything. And you can see 3rd quarter already got the backup running back in and stuff because we was tagging the other one. But then the quarterback took over, Man, all in all, a great experience. I'm loving the game. We'll revisit this midway. Say in like a couple of months or so, we'll review how we feeling about the game and stuff. Because by that time, too, you'll have more patches and stuff that'll change a little bit of things with the game and things like that. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Like I said, I'm going to be live streaming later, so come in, get some football knowledge and stuff like that. Let's have a blast. Till next time, y'all. Thanks for watching. Peace.